What an awesome job DJI have done here with their flagship drone. Such an impressive offering here. DJI have just released their flagship triple camera drone, and it's called the Mavic 4 Pro. We had the Mavic 3 Pro a few years ago now, and it was hugely successful. It did have a triple camera system, but this new drone here has been redesigned from the ground up with brand new cameras and an infinity gimbal, which means that it can rotate 400 degrees to give you very unique rotating footage from such a high-end 6K drone. The body of the drone has been completely redesigned here to house this huge camera system on the front here. We've got a lot of new sensors here, including some low-light sensors. We've got a LiDAR sensor on the front leg here, and it's such a unique design. I really love what they've done here. It doesn't have a huge footprint. It doesn't feel significantly bigger than the Mavic 3 Pro. It obviously is their flagship for consumers. So it's larger than the Air 3S, the Air 3, the mini range. It's their larger consumer drone, but it doesn't feel significantly larger than the Mavic 3 Pro, which is really nice to see. I got the Creator Combo, so it comes with 512 gigabytes of internal storage, which makes a huge difference. I don't have to worry about micro SD cards. I don't have to worry about what speed the micro SD card is and if I'm going to have any issues with the footage. The fact that it's in-house storage just means that it's going to be optimized for all of the different resolutions and all of the different photo options. And with the Creator Combo, we get the brand new RC Pro 2, which I am absolutely obsessed with. It literally has a fold-out screen that can also rotate to portrait, so you can have landscape or portrait. And as you swap it to portrait, your vertical videos will also show up in their true format here. It powers on the device immediately when you flip it up. You don't have to worry about removing thumbsticks because as you fold it down again, the thumbsticks fold away and the screen goes to sleep. Really love this design here. And it's got a full-size HDMI. We've got a USB-C and a micro SD slot as well, but it does have internal storage. So I haven't had to worry about putting a micro SD in. There are a lot of exciting new changes here with the Mavic 4 Pro, but the most obvious thing that you're going to notice straight up, the redesigned camera system on the front is absolutely phenomenal. I love the fact that it's a triple camera system still, and we've got such a unique design here that allows us to fully rotate the camera system. So now we've got true vertical shooting. So that means that the camera will rotate and give us vertical video natively. It's not cropping it. And that makes a huge difference. I found that all of the features that you would expect, all the tracking features, the rotating features, all of that works in vertical video. You can even get up to 310 degrees of rotation, even when you're shooting vertical video, which is native, right? So it's not cropping it, it's actually rotating the camera to get that native video. The other thing I absolutely love here is that we get 70 degrees of rotation with the tilt. So we can look directly up almost, which is really, really cool to see. So we've got rotation, we've got true vertical video, and we've also got a tilt of up to 70 degrees. When we talk about this brand new camera system, that does actually mean that we get a new quick shot mode, and it's called Rotate. I've got a whole video on the channel dedicated to showing you all the different features of that, but there's a few different parameters that you can adjust, and it gives you a very unique perspective. So you can just press start, and it will either go backwards or go forwards, and it will rotate the camera for you in whatever orientation you want it to go, whatever like rotation speed. You can change how much rotation, you can change all sorts of parameters there. And that's a quick shot mode that's unique to the Mavic 4 Pro. So these three camera systems are brand new and unique to the Mavic 4 Pro, and they all work perfectly well on this unit. Now, the main new camera system is phenomenal, right? It's a 6K camera system. It's an all-new 4/3" CMOS sensor, so it's mirrorless camera quality, and it's got variable aperture as well, so f2.0 up to f11. You can capture 100 megapixel stills as well as 25 megapixel stills for all your photo needs. And like I said, 6K camera up to 60 frames per second HDR video, which is a huge leap forward from DJI in the consumer space. On top of that, there's 16 stops of dynamic range with the main camera system, and it's 4K up to 120 frames per second slow motion. And then you get the D-Log, you get D-Log M and HLG color modes as well. That's all on the 28mm main camera system, which is the Hasselblad camera system. Then we've got the 70mm medium telephoto camera system, or medium tele camera system. And so this is a 1/1.3" CMOS sensor. We've seen this sensor before on the Air 3 and Air 3S, as well as the Mini 4 Pro, Mini 3 Pro. So a great camera system that we've come to love. It does have a fixed aperture of f2.8. You can capture 48 megapixel stills and 12 megapixel stills. It can also capture 4K up to 60 frames per second HDR. This one's got 14 stops of dynamic range, so you can see that the main camera system has a huge leg up over the medium tele system. But the medium tele system can also capture 4K 120 frames per second, and it does have D-Log, D-Log-M, and HLG color modes. So you're only really missing out on the variable aperture and that 6K, but still that medium telephoto is still one of my favorites. I use it a lot of the time. I really do like it. And then when we look at the 168mm tele camera system, this is that optimum zoom. That is like really when you want to punch in and get a unique layering to your footage. And the quality is great here. It is a nice improvement. So it's a 1/1.5" CMOS sensor. It's got a fixed aperture of f2.8. You can capture 50 megapixel stills here, interestingly enough, as well as 12.5 megapixel stills, 4K 60 FPS HDR, 13 stops of dynamic range, and 4K up to 100 frames per second in slow motion. And there is D-Log, D-Log-M, and HLG. So the majority of the options and features that are available across the board on all three camera systems, it's just occasionally that like 168mm doesn't give you an option and might just say unavailable with this camera. But for the most part, everything works across the board on all three cameras. Reviewing the footage, I've been extremely impressed with all three cameras. The main Hasselblad camera system is clearly the leap forward. That 6K 60 FPS in HDR is really, really impressive. And the fact that we also get 16 stops of dynamic range is a huge leap forward. It is such an amazing camera system, and you will notice the difference here. The other two camera systems, they're a nice improvement, but they're not a huge leap forward. It's that main Hasselblad system in 6K that you will notice a huge difference. But still, having a triple lens system for me is so much fun. I love having those different aspects, those different kind of compressions as you're using the different lenses, and it does layer it differently. There's nice dynamic range on all three of them, and all three camera systems work well together. It's not like one is significantly nicer than the other, so you can't match the footage. I find that colors match nicely. I find that the quality matches nicely, and you're happy with whichever camera system you use, and that's in my experiences using it now for a few weeks and being really happy with it. I've touched on the Infinity Gimbal, and this is a very unique feature from DJI, really exciting to see. Now, for a lot of people, it adds like a unique creative layer to it. From what I could see in my tests, if you're starting to tilt a little bit, so if you tilt the camera down and try to rotate, it does limit the rotation. So ultimately, the camera needs to be straight on to get that full 400-degree rotation. If you're using the rotate quick shot mode, it only goes up to 360 degrees. But if you manually control the rotation, which you have full control over, you can go up to 400-degree rotation. I think this is really important information to know, because if you directly point the camera down, you're not going to get much rotation at all. So it's not fully customizable in that way. You can tilt slightly up and down and still get full rotation. But beyond a certain point, rotation is limited and locked to, whatever it may be, depending on the situation. But for me, I found this was great. I love being able to have footage directly upside down and then flipping over. It does create a unique perspective. I just don't know whether it's for everyone. There's a bit of novelty to it. It's fun, it's exciting. But in terms of implementing that into your workflow, yes, people are definitely going to use it. And yes, it adds a unique layer. But I am just curious what people are thinking. How are you actually going to use this in your workflow? Do you see yourself adding this to your projects to add a little bit of flair? Or do you see yourself not using it after a period of time? For me, I think it does add a unique perspective and I will be using it, but I am curious what other people have to say. When we look at obstacle avoidance here, as always, DJI do impressive stuff when it comes to their obstacle avoidance sensors and how it can actually track you and avoid obstacles. Now, I put this guy through the gauntlet test, which is lots of thin, tall trees compacted into an area, and it did an impressive job. Considering this has got a larger footprint than the other drones I've tested, it gave itself enough room to navigate around trees. It stopped, it thought ahead, it literally planned ahead. So if it thought, oh, I can't make that, it would actually counteract and do a different movement. So it's almost like it's got its own brain and it's thinking as it's trying to track you. And it did a flawless job, never crashed, never touched a tree, didn't even come close. And it did a great job of navigating no matter what height I had it at. And I used the 2.5 times camera system just to create some compression and to make it look a bit unique. But yeah, it did an amazing job. When we look at the sensors here, it does have 6 low light vision sensors. And on top of that, we've got a forward-facing LiDAR sensor on the right arm. So 0.1 lux nightscape omnidirectional obstacle sensing. So we saw this with the Air 3S. We saw that LiDAR sensor on the front, and I was really impressed. I tested that in a low light scenario and it did a great job. But on the Mavic 4 Pro, we're getting LiDAR as well as 6 low light sensors. So ultimately, it's going to be better in that low light obstacle avoidance. It's going to be better at returning to home to you in a low light situation. So the perfect scenario is you've gone out, you've captured a sunset, stayed around a little too long, and the sun's coming down way too quick and it starts to get pretty dark. Perfect scenario to have omnidirectional low light obstacle avoidance, and it's just going to ensure that peace of mind when you are returning back in those low light scenarios. They're saying 18 meters per second faster speed to avoid obstacles and take off and return to home without GPS. So regardless of your scenario, you're going to have no issues flying this drone back to you and controlling it in low light situation. Going a little bit deeper into these fisheye sensors, because they are quite unique. They are like fisheye sensors. They've got a huge field of view and they seem to have better performance and higher quality as well. So what DJI are saying here is they're increasing daytime resolution by 4 times compared to the Air 3S and enhancing dynamic range, which provides a more detailed perception of the surrounding environment. So 0.1 lux is really, really impressive. Like it can pick up on the tiniest amount of light and it's going to be able to see obstacles in its environment due to that. The forward-facing LiDAR is great as well because that's awesome in like weak visual scenarios. So if you don't have the best visuals and it's super low light, that LiDAR sensor will make a big difference when you're returning home and when you're avoiding obstacles in certain situations, which is great. And I've really been impressed with it. Like I said, I did that gauntlet test and I was a little nervous because it's a larger drone, but it handled it perfectly well. When I've had the drone tracking different, environmental subjects, whatever that may be, whether that's like a car, a boat, or even a person, really great scenarios and no issues at all when it was doing it. And you also get Active Track 360 as well, which was an awesome feature that we saw not long ago. But to have that on the flagship is great to see. It just gives you a lot more customization of how the drone's going to track you. So there's 2 rings. You've got the inner ring and outer ring, and that's how the drone's going to track you. You can put it in auto as well, and it's just going to automatically follow you. But from the tests I've done, it does think. It actually is smart, right? It thinks ahead and plans its course, and it won't prioritize. Like let's say you want it to be front facing, but there's too much going on. It will continue following you, but from a safe distance on a different angle. So it won't prioritize like spinning around and getting right in front of you, which could cause an accident. It's just going to prioritize having you in the shot and avoiding obstacles. If you are interested in the Mavic 4 Pro or any other drone or camera for that matter, then make sure to check out the D1 store. I've actually helped Australians save over $70,000 on their purchases. You can reach out to them directly, sales@d1store.com.au. Mention DansTube and they'll be able to help you out with the best deal they can. And for other drones and cameras and accessories on their website, you can use the code DansTube, and that's on select offerings there. So you can just try that code and see if it works. Otherwise, reach directly out to them, sales@d1store.com.au. And for my international viewers, do not worry, I've got some other links down there for you as well. So check all of those out. It's all down in that little video description section. Check all of that out and let me know if you pick something up, because it means the world to me if you support me. But on top of that, I'm hoping that I can help you with some awesome deals as well. Like I mentioned, there is Active Track 360 degrees, which I absolutely love. It's a great feature. But here we've got some upgrades. So we've got car mode and direction recognition, which does a great job from the tests I've done. And then on top of that, we've also got 200-meter distance ultra small car recognition. So regardless of how far you're away, you can still get pinpoint accuracy with the tracking. And again, from the test I've done, really impressive stuff. Clearly the hardware on this unit is amazing, because there were times where there was a car park filled with cars and the little pluses would come up for the subject focusing for the focus track mode. And it didn't slow down the feed. My controller didn't stutter or anything like that. It just is able to process everything in that scene. No issues at all. I could still record the whole time. it's just so cool to see what they're doing here. We are getting 51 minutes of flight time with these newly designed batteries here. We've got a brand new charging hub, which I'll get into soon. There's much other features there that I want to talk about. Really easy to swap them out, and the fast charging on this unit as well is really impressive. I haven't even touched on the controller yet, but this is one of my favorite upgrades here. This makes the world of difference because this is what you interact with, right? When you're flying the drone, like the drone's got all these amazing features and it's got all these cool things you can do, but the drone's over there, right? This is the experience you're having. So having such a gorgeous large display, having that, folding away, and as you fold it out, it powers it on. As you fold it down, it goes into sleep mode. I love the rotation. I love how the antennas flip down like that, so they're out of the way. You've got additional buttons on here. There's all sorts of things going on. But what's really cool is that we get OcuSync 4 Plus with the Mavic 4 Pro, and that gives us 30 kilometers of video transmission distance, and that's 10-bit end-to-end video transmission. And really, really impressive stuff here. Range has never been an issue for me. I find that it handles any scenario I put it through. It can handle any wind condition you put it in, and no issues at all. It's one of the more stable flight experiences I've ever seen. Regardless of what you throw at it, it just holds its ground. Well, holds its sky. Flight speed is also really impressive here. So 90 kilometers per hour is its top speed. And again, that makes a huge difference when you're flying against the wind or when you're trying to handle some strong wind conditions. Again, just peace of mind. That's a huge top speed and it can just cut through the wind. This really is the ultimate creative drone. We get 100 megapixel stills, we get 6K, 60 FPS HDR video. We've got that rotation feature. We've got a brand new controller that you can do anything with. You can download apps onto it, all sorts of wind apps. You can download third-party apps to control the drone, all sorts of things. It just opens up a lot of different options as the drone progresses and as more developers get on board. And the controller has been phenomenal. But what I love is how fast everything boots up. So the preparation time is a lot less with this drone. Lift the screen like that, it powers it on. And then straight when I unfold the drone, it powers on. So I can set it up and then pack my bag away. Meanwhile, it's doing its thing. It's getting the satellites, it's powering everything on, it's connecting, it's syncing. And the boot time on this is really fast because this controller has got a lot of power behind it. And like I said before, it's a full operating system. So, you can go in and you can really customize anything you need to customize in there. All of your needs will 100% be met with the controller. You can see we've got Firefox on there, gallery, DJI Fly, files. And then from there, you can add really anything you need to. You can go into Firefox and install different apps on here, and it just opens up a lot of options. The charging hub's another really awesome upgrade here. So it's got 240 watt desktop charging. 3 batteries can be charged simultaneously. 90 minutes to fully charge 3 batteries from zero, which was the biggest problem with some of these larger drones. It would take such a long time getting home, charging up. But an hour and a half, you could go out, use 3 batteries, come home, make lunch, have this on charge, and by the time you finish your lunch, you're at least going to have 2 batteries, if not all 3 batteries charged, ready to go. Theoretically, you're going to have all 3 because they're charging simultaneously. And I've been really impressed with how fast that worked. And then 43 minutes to fully charge 1 battery. So again, really quick. If you stop off somewhere and you got the capacity to plug this in somewhere, you can charge it while you're at a cafe, no issues. 43 minutes is, a decent amount of time to get a coffee, have lunch, and then you've got 1 battery ready to go just to finalize the shoot in that location if you need to. We've also got more convenient quick transfer here, which actually I don't use too much because I'm just putting it straight on my computer. I know a lot of people use quick transfer, and it is using Wi-Fi 6 high speed, so super high speed transfer. And great to see them still improving on that because that is a great feature for a lot of people that want footage directly on their devices and they don't have to worry about putting it on a computer. So let's look a little bit deeper into this controller because, like I said, this is the thing you interface with. This is your experience of flying a drone a lot of the time. And it's a huge improvement. That screen is so sturdy. The fact that you can rotate it, the fact that it boots up so quickly is phenomenal. We've also got some additional buttons here. So there's a scrolling wheel to adjust some of the parameters and settings. You can adjust camera settings with that. There's a button you can push in. And then you've also got this 5D button here to navigate, as well as a back button. So really easy to navigate through a bunch of different settings. I can go back here. You've then got full control as you're in the DJI Fly app to go between different settings when you're connected to the drone. Works really well, and those additional buttons do make a big difference. On the back, we've got 2 programmable buttons, so C1, C2, 2 scrolling wheels, and a record and shutter button. All works flawlessly as you would expect. One of my favorite things to do though with this controller is I've got it programmed so C1 and then the right dial actually rotates the camera for me. So I've got full manual control, so I can use the right stick to fly forward and then press and hold C1 and then slowly move that right dial, and it's going to rotate the camera for me manually, and it gives me up to 400 degrees when I do it manually like that. So a lot of the footage you'll see of the rotation is me actually doing it manually. I'm not using the rotate quick shot mode. I'm just manually doing it through the controller. And I found it worked flawlessly. There were no issues with it. And it's a lot easier from my experiences to just do it that way and have full control. It is a 7-inch mini LED screen, and it's got 2000 nits of peak brightness to reflect D-Log true color. Honestly, it's such a bright screen. Very responsive. It's a gorgeous screen. It really is amazing to use. You've got a bunch of customization. You can, tilt it as much as you need to. Like I said, you can rotate, you can move it down slightly. There's a lot of freedom here. You can even go like that if you really needed to show someone on the other side. But it just shows you how much range of motion you've got with the display. And I love that. I love that it's not limited and that you've got full control. The rotating as well is really nice to see. We saw something similar, I guess, with the Pocket 3, but this is just in a larger format and is a lot more stable. And the screen itself is honestly gorgeous. Seeing this in person, you will be impressed. Like I said, it's a foldable screen and the joysticks are also foldable. The fact that I can rotate the screen and then capture true vertical videos is so awesome to see, because I can literally go from capturing some content like that and going, actually, I want to get a vertical video here. So I just flip it. It then shows me what it's going to look like in vertical. And it makes it a lot easier to frame everything and see how it's going to look. And then obviously when I view the videos back, I can flip it and view it in that way as well. So just makes it a lot easier in that kind of scenario. And again, really impressive stuff here. There's also built-in mic support, which I've done a whole video on the channel, a whole separate video. So it's got a built-in mic in the unit, so you can just record and narrate as you're going, which is phenomenal. But then you can also connect up a mic mini or the mic 2, and it just works. You plug it in, connect up the microphone, and it just works. You can then narrate out and about on the field, and you've got that high quality audio synced directly to the drone footage. Really awesome stuff to see. It's also so cool to see that when you rotate the screen, that actually rotates the camera. So the drone's camera rotates as you rotate the screen. Makes it a lot easier to just capture true vertical on the fly and then go back to horizontal footage. That makes a huge difference for a lot of people. The controller has 4 hours of battery life, 128 gigabytes of storage, and it also supports third-party apps like I mentioned earlier. Honestly, just so impressive. There's also dynamic home point. So if you're in the car and you want to film something, it makes it more accurate and safe because the home point is dynamic and it's fluid and it's moving with you. What an awesome job DJI have done here with their flagship drone. Such an impressive offering here, and just so cool to see. So cool to see that they're innovating, they're continuing to innovate. This controller here is so cool to use. One of my favorite controller experiences, even over other pro controllers in the past. Just this makes such a difference when you can fold it to get that vertical footage, and how easy it is to just, fold it down to power it down, open it up, and it powers everything back on again. Really impressed with how all of this works. The true vertical video is huge. I'm glad that they've done that here. The rotating feature's great. So this is a huge upgrade for a lot of people. I think it's well worth it. If you've got the Mavic 3 Pro and you've been holding out, the Air 3S maybe didn't interest you, the Air 3 didn't interest you, and you're kind of just waiting, holding out, this is the one to get because it's got everything, all the advancements packed into the one body, and then there's some additional advancements on top of that. So this drone is going to future-proof itself for a very long time, and that's one thing you can guarantee with DJI. If it's a flagship drone like the Mavic 3 Pro or the Mavic 4 Pro, you know that it's going to stand the test of time. It's going to be relevant for a very long time, and it's going to be well worth the purchase. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about the Mavic 4 Pro. I'm really impressed so far. The creator combo with that 512 gigabyte internal storage on the drone. The new controller just is amazing. It's such a joy to use. 6K footage looks great. 100 megapixel stills when you're using that main Hasselblad system. Variable aperture. There's all sorts of things going on here. It's a great upgrade, and something, if you can afford it, this is something to consider. This is the drone to consider because it has it all, and it will be future-proof for a very long time. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate all of the support, and I'll chat to you in the next one. Peace.